Hey you guys, it's Amélie. Welcome back to my channel. Today we have a little change of scenery, as you can tell. I wanted to film this book haul outside because yes, today I'm filming another book haul. I saw Emma Books do a book haul on the beach and I really like the idea of like being outside and all of that, but I don't have a beach, so I figured, oh, we're gonna do this in my backyard. And I tried to film in my backyard, but it was a complete disaster. There's construction happening near my house and like there were trucks moving around. It was so loud, so much noise, and also the lighting was not ideal. There was so much sun that I was squinting in the camera, which isn't the best look on me, I'm gonna be honest here. I'm in my living room right now, so I just thought it would be a nice change of scenery. So like I said, today I'm coming at you with another book haul. It's been like 2 months, I think, since I last filmed a book haul, and I've bought so many books in the past 2 months, it's not even funny. I legit think that I've ordered books online every week. And I think it's fair to say that I have a book buying problem at this point. Without further ado, because I have so many books to present to you, we'll just go ahead and get started. So the first 2 books that I bought are actually books that I've already read, but there are like favorites of mine, so I just figured that it was about time that I have a physical copy. The first one is The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. Like I said, it's one of my favorite books. This is a new adult novel. I'm not usually one for new adult. I do read it every once in a while, but I feel like the genre is kind of all the same. But this one is like so good. I don't even have words to describe it. I've read this twice in 2017. I loved it just as much the second time around. If you haven't read the book, The Hating Game is about two main characters, Joshua and Lucy. They are both the assistant to the CEOs of this publishing company, and they legit hate each other. Like, they just don't like one another. They never have and they never will. At least that's what you think. When this new position opens up for one of them to become the boss of the other, basically, they obviously both want the job and they start fighting for it. I just love it so much. There's a lot of like tropes in this book, but they're so well done, and I'm just like, oh my god, I just love these 2 characters so much. They're so cute, and I just like talking about it makes me want to reread it. And look at that cover. I think it's super gorgeous. Like, I really love the colors on this. The second book that I bought is also one that I have read before, like I mentioned before, and that is Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. So those of you who don't know about Carry On, it's Simon Snow's story in the book Fangirl, also written by Rainbow Rowell. There's a lot of mention about this Simon Snow person, like character, novel, series, whatever, and this is the author's take on Simon Snow's story. I have to admit that Carry On is kind of a Harry Potter fanfiction. Like, there's a lot of similarities between Carry On and Harry Potter, but being the Harry Potter fan that I am, I obviously love this book. Simon Snow reminded me a lot of Harry Potter. Like I said, it is kind of I feel like it's kind of a fanfiction, but in a good way. The world is kind of different, but honestly, like, this cover is just gorgeous. I needed this book so bad. Like, I read this book, I read it like in one sitting. I loved it so much. I stayed up all night to read it, and I am kind of excited to reread this because I have quite great memories of it. The next books that I'm about to present are the ones that I talked about in my Disney readathon, so I will go over them very quickly because I've talked about them so much already. But we'll just like present them if you haven't watched these. I'll leave the link to my Disney readathon somewhere on the screen or like in the description box if you haven't seen it yet. So the first books that we have are the Villains series by Serena Valentino. So there's Fairest of All, The Beast Within, Poor Unfortunate Soul, and Mistress of All Evil. They are all the author's take on these famous Disney villains' backstory, and they are a series, so you have to read them in order. They are really, really good. I really enjoy them. They're middle grade, but they're really well written, and I highly enjoy them. And also look at these covers. Like, these covers. Like, this one is just so pretty, and I also love that inside the book there's like another thing. So this is a dragon, and for each you have like their other self, I guess you could call it like that. So really enjoyed these. Highly recommend if you haven't read them yet. The next 3 books are also some that I've talked about in my readathon. I've not read them all though. I have read all the Villain series, but I haven't read all of these, and this is the Twisted Tale series by Liz Braswell. So you have A Whole New World, which is an Aladdin retelling. You have Once Upon a Dream, which is a Sleeping Beauty retelling, and you have As Old as Time, which is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. So the only one that I've read is A Whole New World, and I was hoping to like it, but I did not like it as much as I thought I would. It was good, but I feel like the characters were not the ones that I grew up loving. So yeah, I'm hoping the rest of the series will be better, because the only one that I've read so far is A Whole New World, and I had such high expectations of it. I think I don't know, it just didn't meet them. But now that I kind of know what to expect, I think I will enjoy the rest. I hope I will enjoy the rest. So the next book that I bought is also one that I bought because of my Disney readathon, and that is Beauty and the Beast, Lost in a Book by Jennifer Donnelly. In Lost in a Book, Belle finds a mysterious book in the Beast's library, and she gets lost in it. Literally, she gets transported to a new world where she meets new people and makes new friends, and eventually she has to make a choice with whether she prefers staying in this new world or if she wants to go back to the castle with the Beast and her friends. I did not read this during the readathon. I read this a couple of days ago. I finished it like maybe 2 or 3 days ago, and I really liked it. I was not expecting to enjoy it as much as I did, but it was such a great read. Once again, it's middle grade, but it's so good, and I will be giving you more fleshed out thoughts in my reading wrap up. But this cover is just so pretty. Can we talk about that? Like, gorgeous. The next book that I'm about to present, I've already read before, so I kind of lied when I said that I didn't read most of these. This one is probably my all-time favorite series, and I don't own the books from this series. I read them as ebooks. The only book in the series that I own is the last one, which is probably my favorite in the series. But I really want to have the series, like have physical copies, because I just love this so much and I want to reread it. So I bought the first one, and that is Cinder by Marissa Meyer. As you can tell, this is a Cinderella retelling, but there's robots, there's lunars, there's a lot of extraterrestrials. The main story here is based off Cinderella, but with this little twist to it. So I don't need to talk to you about Cinderella because I think you know the story. But the Lunar Chronicles series is one of my all-time favorite. Like I think it's even surpasses Harry Potter. I've read these books like twice already, I think. And I just love them, so I really wanted to get the rest of the series. And I do want to buy the other two because I love them all so much. And I know some people said that Cinder was not their favorite, and it's not my favorite in the series either. So if you want to give them, if you haven't given them a chance yet, I highly recommend you do. So the next book that I bought is Fireworks by Katie Coutinho. I read the excerpt from this book in 99 Days, also by Katie Coutinho, that I've mentioned in my reading wrap-up. So if you want more fleshed out thoughts on this book, I will leave the link on the screen or like in the description box for this video. And I read the first 2 chapters in 99 Days, and I really like the concept. So basically, Olivia and Dana are best friends, and Olivia is going to Orlando to audition for this superstar competition. Basically, they're looking to form the new girl band, like pop star thing. And Olivia is a singer. She's always wanted to be a singer and be famous. So she sees this as her chance to make her dream come true. Dana decides to tag along, and they make this a road trip. So they're both going to Orlando, and Dana ends up being discovered too. So the 2 girls are training to be pop stars. There's a love story involved, and of course there's like a shift in their friendship because of this love story and this new pop star thing. I don't know much about the rest, but this just seems so good, and I really love Katie Coutinho, so I really wanted to try this out. It's set in the 1990s, which is also super cool, and I don't know, I'm just really excited for this, and I love Katie Coutinho. She's going to be one of my favorite authors, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to enjoy this book. The next book that I got is one that I really loved, that I read and that I absolutely loved, and that is Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi. So I've seen a lot of hype for this book on Instagram, and I feel like they've really nailed it with the campaigning stuff for this book. But after seeing all of these beautiful pictures and seeing so many people rave about this book on social media, I just thought that I would try it out for myself and see if it was worth the hype. And I can most definitely say that it is worth all of the great things that I've heard. In Emergency Contact, Penny is moving away to college in Austin in Texas, and she's going to study to be a writer, and she cannot wait to go to college because she's so done with her little hometown, as most of us are. And she's super excited to head over to college. She's finally going to be able to be the girl that she wants to be and like study whatever the hell she wants. So Penny meets Sam, this boy who works in a cafe. He also happens to sleep there too. For Sam, this is just not the best period of his life. He wants to be a filmmaker, but he doesn't have the money. So he just works in this cafe with the hopes of like getting this god-awful chapter of his life over with as soon as possible. And well, they exchange numbers, and soon enough they are texting constantly, and they're basically becoming each other's emergency contact. So I really loved this novel. I think it's super cute, and like, I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. I really like the main characters, Penny and Sam. I really like them. I think this cover is gorgeous. I mean, can we talk about that? Like, so yeah, I really enjoyed it. I will be once again giving you more thoughts in my reading wrap up, but it is so good and I really recommend it. The next book that I got is also one that got a lot of hype on social media and booktube and like Instagram and all that stuff, and that is The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. I actually don't know much about this book besides the fact that like Alice, I think this is the main character's name. Yeah, Alice's grandmother created this world called the Hazelwood. I think they're like fairy tales, if I'm right, not entirely sure, but she's created these books, and she also lived in a place called the Hazelwood, which is why her books are called the Hazelwood. And Alice's grandmother dies, and then Alice's mother gets kidnapped for some reason, and then Alice is going to try to find her mom, but in order to be able to do that, she has to go back to the Hazelwood and dive into her grandmother's work. I also think that like there's another person involved trying to solve this mystery with her. I think there might be like a friendship or like a relationship in there, but that's basically the only thing that I know. I just really, I heard a lot of great things about this, so I just figured that I would try it out. I also really like this cover. I mean, look at this. I know I buy a lot of books because of the covers, but I mean, I haven't read this one yet, but I've heard, like I said, a lot of great things about it, so I'm super excited to dive into this one. The next book that I got is also a diverse read, so I'm really excited about that, and that is American Panda by Gloria Chow. I honestly don't know much about American Panda. I just know that it's about a Taiwanese American girl. I think she wants to become a doctor, but her parents want her to marry, like find a rich Taiwanese American boy, and I think she's gonna fall in love with another boy who's not Taiwanese American. So there's gonna be a lot of drama involved, but this is all I know. I'm really excited about this one. I've heard great things about it, so like honestly, it's just a cute contemporary, so of course I'm gonna enjoy it. The next book that I got is one that I've read and that I've absolutely loved. I can most definitely say that it is one of my favorites of 2018, and that is Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. So Eliza is the creator of this web comic called Monstrous Sea, and she gets like millions of people reading her comic every week because there's a new chapter coming up every week. And no one knows that Eliza is the author of the webcomic. When there's a new boy at her school who happens to be like a fan of Monstrous Sea, Eliza pretends that she's just another fan in the series. Wallace, the boy, doesn't know that Eliza is the author and the creator of the webcomic that he loves. Of course, there's a lot of like drama and like hidden identities stuff going on. It's really, honestly, this book sneaks up on you. I legit did not think that I would end up crying as much as I did in this book. I felt for the main character so much. I could relate to her on like such a level. I felt like Eliza and I were one and the same. And I won't tell you too much about it because once again, I do want to elaborate more in my reading wrap up, but I highly recommend this. I will say that there's a trigger warning for suicide in this book, which I didn't know about, but and also anxiety, so if that's something that triggers you, I'd stray away from this. But it's so good. I absolutely loved it. 5 out of 5 stars. It's one of my favorite of the year. I can say that without a doubt. This book is just amazing. The next 2 books are part of a series. I've already read the first one and I really enjoyed it, and it's one of my favorite authors as well, so of course I had to buy the other ones, and that is The Trials of Apollo by Rick Riordan. I already read Percy Jackson and the Olympians. I've read The Heroes of Olympus. I read the Magnus Chase series, even though I've yet to read the last one in there, so I probably will have to go at the library and borrow it. But The Trials of Apollo follow the god Apollo, who falls down onto the earth and becomes just a regular boy. Apollo has to go through these trials to regain his status as a god. There's a lot of like gods involved and mythology, and I just really dig that, so that's fun. Of course, there's Rick Riordan's like funny, sassy writing. So I've already read the Hidden Oracle, like I just mentioned, so I had to buy the other two. This is The Dark Prophecy, the sequel, and then the third book in the series and the most recent one that came out, The Burning Maze. Also, there was like 40% off on Rick Riordan's book, so I obviously had to buy these. These legit were $12 each for hardcovers, I mean. And can we talk about these covers? They're so pretty. Like, look at this. The colors on this one is like, the colors are just, wow, I can't. Honestly, I'm very excited to dive into these because I just love Rick Riordan, and even though they're like middle grade, I just always love reading these books. So excited. The next books that I got are actually a series that I've read and loved, and I just mentioned it actually, so it's kind of funny. But it is the Percy Jackson and the Olympians series by Rick Riordan. So this is the paperback box set, so I won't get out each of these books, but I've read the Percy Jackson and the Olympians before, and I really liked it. This is what introduced me to Rick Riordan's work, and he became one of my favorite authors, even though he always writes middle grade. I love these books. They're about mythology, and like they're so funny, and I just love Percy Jackson. Like, love these characters so much. These new editions like are so pretty. I don't know if you can tell, but the spines make a pattern, and I won't get them out because, like I said, it's such a hassle. But it was 40% off, like I mentioned, for the other two books that Trials of Apollo series. So this was like $20 for the box set. I was just like, this is ridiculous. I have to buy this. I really want to reread these books at some point this summer, I think, especially since now I have them in paperback and I have them in like real copies, so I'm very excited. And I think I will buy also like the Heroes of Olympus, which is probably my favorite Rick Riordan series. I just love Rick Riordan. Like, honestly, I would read anything he comes out with. And the last book is probably one of my most anticipated release of 2018, and I'm so glad that I finally have it. And that is Leah on the Offbeat by Becky Albertalli. So I think I've mentioned before that I'm a big Becky Albertalli fan. I absolutely love Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda. And Leah and the Offbeat is the companion novel to Simon versus. So in this one we follow Leah, Simon's best friend, who is bisexual, but she hasn't told any of her friends. And I think that Leah develops a crush on one of her friends at some point in this book, and she's just trying to come to terms with like who she is, and like, I don't know. I know it's set during their senior year, so you have to read Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda before you read this one. But I don't know much about it besides that it's about Leah and her bisexuality and like a coming of age type of story. And like, this is just the characters that I really love. Like, I loved all the characters in Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda, so I'm so excited for this. This is actually the next book that I'm planning on reading. I'm just so excited. I don't think I can say excited enough in this video, but like, honestly, this is probably the book that I'm most excited about. In all of the books that I presented here, the ones that I've not read yet, this is probably the one that I'm most excited about. So that's it for this book haul. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments below which of these books you've read before or which one you think I should read next. Also, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. If you want to see more book hauls, make sure to give this a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already, and follow me on Insta and Twitter. As usual, the handles are right here. And I guess that's it, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.